Like I said, the maximum sustained winds are 45 miles per hour. And within these bands of showers and thunderstorms is where we will likely get those. And to the north of the center, so that would be Belize City. First, the offshore Keys, Key Caracas, San Pedro, Corozal will be the areas that will be affected by tropical storm force winds, if not sustained, certainly in gusts. But it should be maximum sustained winds of 45 miles per hour based on the Hurricane Center's estimate now. This system, like I said, is almost on us. The core of it should be moving across the country between now and midday, and then move more farther inland. And it will rapidly weaken. And according to the prediction that I saw, it should be dissipating, if not later tonight, by tomorrow across southern Mexico. We will continue to get rainfall as the system moves west of us. The flow will become more southerly, and the rainfalls will continue and eventually decrease through tonight into tomorrow and becoming less on Monday. So that is what I have in terms of the predictions for now and the observations. One last thing before I hand over is the possibility of minor coastal flooding. I don't want to say a storm surge because it's not going to be that significant, 1 foot or less north of the center. However, of course, with the rainfall, we know that we will get flooding. I don't know if we have the principal hydrologist on the call, but certainly based on the briefing yesterday, she had outlined the areas of concern in regards to potential flooding. And that's what I have so far, and I will leave it there until you have questions for me. Thank you.
Mr. Mendez.
Thank you, and good morning, everyone. So we have been in close communication with the Met Service for the past few days. We had released several advisories yesterday as soon as we got the advice from the Met Service in regards to the upgrading of the system to tropical storm. So what we have been doing is we have had all our EOCs across the country, all our emergency operations centers had been activated, had been contacted. They have been activated as of this morning. The National Emergency Operations Center is also currently on activation. We are monitoring and we're preparing for the response to this event. In terms of shelters that will be open, those will be opened as on a needs basis. They will be announced as soon as these are.
Allow me to interject, Aaron. Please mute your audio.
Okay, thank you. So across the country, the emergency operations centers are currently all open. They are being manned and they are preparing for the response. Particularly, we have been taking the advice of the Met Service and the Hydrology Department. So those are being prepared. Those responses are being prepared. We have officers in each station, and our hotline is currently also in operation, and we are having everything in preparation for the arrival of the storm. As I said, preparations for the public. Sorry. Preparation should be complete by now for everyone. And we urge you again to keep on following all our advisories that we were putting out on a periodic basis. And so that's what I have right now. We are pending any questions.
Hey, Jose, go ahead.
Yes, thank you. Morning, everyone. I know Mr. Gordon said that you cannot precisely say where the center is, but in coordinating with NEMO in regards to possible need for shelters or assistance, are you looking specifically at Belize City to Corozal? Are you still looking at the South Pass Belize City in regards to any effects that may occur throughout this morning's storm?
Thanks for that question, Jose. It's a very good question because if you notice our advisories, we have been indicating that persons south of Belize City who are currently not under a tropical storm warning should be paying keen attention because the effects will be felt beyond the city. So even though they may not experience tropical storm force winds, the rainfalls and the intense rainfall is spreading across much of the country. If you look at the radar imagery that I showed earlier, I believe the rains extend all the way down to the Stan Creek district or even the northern parts of the Toledo district. So indeed, those persons should indeed be on the alert and prepared for any eventuality associated with this tropical storm.
You also mentioned that the brunt of whatever tropical storm that we should be feeling would be experienced, I believe, throughout this morning. Would you say then maybe by this afternoon, early in the afternoon, we should have an all clear, at least when it comes to storm, and then we move, I'm assuming, into some sort of flood watch?
Yes, once the core of the tropical storm has moved inland, then by definition, we would remove the tropical storm warning. That is how it works. But like you rightly mentioned, we of course will maintain other alerts, and those will be for heavy rainfall, excessive rainfall, and certainly the possibility of flooding that will continue.
Okay, last one for me. In regards to the coastal communities, as you mentioned, San Pedro, Kikaka, and I believe you said the center passed over Half Moon Cay within the Lighthouse Reef Atoll. How long does it normally take if there's a prediction whereby it's safe for fishers, for example, or people who are on the sea a lot? In terms of the wave action, for example.
Yeah, so this system, as it moves inland, we will have the winds continue gusting from the south. It will change direction, of course, but it will continue relatively strong and gusty. So the small craft warning that we currently have in effect, advising fisher folks, mariners to remain in safe harbor, I would estimate and I would think that will continue even beyond the tropical storm warning, because, like I said, we expect that winds will be gusting still from the southeast, even after the center has made landfall and crossed the mainland.
Okay. Just before we go into the other questions, I just want to give an update from Ms. Tenille Hendy, our principal hydrologist. She shared that the bridges such as Low Level Bridge and the Iguana Creek Bridge will become impassable. Sections of the coastal highway may become impassable. Corozal, Orange Walk, Belize City, including Ladyville and surrounding areas will flood. In addition, flood warning would be necessary for areas along the Rio Hondo, New River, Sibun, Belize, Mopan, Macau River, and any streams, creeks, or any waterway along these main rivers will be affected. So I hope that was clear for our viewers. Please take keen attention to those. I'll repeat them one more time. The bridges such as the low-level bridge and the Iguana Creek Bridge will become impassable. Sections of the coastal highway may become impassable. Corozal, Orange Walk, Belize City, including Ladyville and surrounding areas will flood. In addition, flood warning become necessary for areas along the Rio Hondo, New River, Sibun, Belize, Mopan, and Macau rivers, and any streams, creek, and waterway along these main rivers will also be affected. So please pay attention to those and take precaution. We'll now have a question. I see channel 7. Jules, please go ahead.
Yes, hello. Good morning. So a few questions. First of all,
Jules, sorry, you seem to be a bit low. I don't know if you can take up your volume a bit. Is everyone hearing him? Maybe on my end, but he seemed to be a bit low here.
yeah,
Yes,
are you able to hear me now? I can.
Yes, yes.
Okay, Yeah, we saw last night on the 9 p.m. I think it was at 17.6 on the 9 p.m. advisory, and now we see. I'm talking about. Correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Gordon. No, I don't know my geography. 17.6 latitude, and now we see it at 17.3. I know the truck continues in a westerly direction.
You cannot eat yet for this morning?
Okay, guys.
Sorry, can we please ask you to mute
Everybody has
yourself?
to mute. Everybody has to mute.
No, you can't though.
Okay, please mute mic. Okay, so yeah, is it going generally south? We know that Belize City is 17.5. Are you able to speak about this and how it affects our behavior or our expectation of who is north of the center of the storm?
It is indeed drifting a bit south of due west, as you rightly mentioned. It was at 17.6. Now it's at 17.3. There is a ridge of high pressure in the mid-levels north of it, forcing it on a bit more south of west track. Like I said, it's a very broad center. So focusing on the precise lat long, like I said, to me is a bit immaterial at this point, given that it's a very broad circulation. So I don't want to spend much time describing exactly the point where this supposed center will cross the coastline. We do have an alert for the entire Belize City northward due to the tropical storm force winds. There is also the possibility that those may extend a bit farther south between Belize City and Dangriga. But certainly we have been advising residents in those areas to be on the alert and to pay keen attention, because the effects are not at a point only, and will be felt beyond where the precise center crosses.
Okay, and then I understand. Did we underestimate this system because and perhaps we were all hoping that it would only be a TD or it would only upgrade to a TD, but it went up to a tropical storm from midnight. Your indication yesterday was that it might reach tropical storm strength very close to landfall. Has the system organized more effectively than had been forecast?
I would say categorically no. The prediction was for a low end worst case scenario tropical storm of 40 to 50 miles per hour. And I precisely said 40 to 50 miles per hour. So we were at 45. I think we hit this one almost on the perfectly. There is still a window of opportunity for it to become a bit more stronger. So we are, I think, within the margin of error.
Okay, now this is the complicated one about work. We know that if you go around Belize City this morning, as I have, people are working as normal. You know, I saw the barbecue vendors setting up. The gas station was open. The tacos vendors were out. People have to make money, understandably. And there are similar concerns in the north, in the Orange Walk, and in the Corozal districts, which will be in the northern area of the storm's landfall. What would NEMO, or the Met Office, what are the recommendations for people who are working today?
So certainly, I can begin. Our messaging has been clear in regards to taking this seriously. So we had strongly recommended that that businesses close, because we cannot take it for granted that this is a small storm. We don't know what the impact will be. We have an idea of, and you've heard of the flooding potential. At this point, we encourage people to take it seriously. If you are out there, understand that this system will be passing in the next few hours. These things need to change, and we will be going around also ensuring and advising people of such in all our districts. We will ensure that this is done because it is very important. We cannot have people out there doing those activities while we are preparing for the potential of for the imminent arrival of the storm in the next few hours.
Okay, so you made it clear enough. I just want to reinforce. So persons out doing normal work, normal Saturday work, they are strongly urged to cease and desist.
Yes. Yes, conditions will deteriorate. It's best to take that action now, rather than when it is too late.
Okay, and then Mr. Gordon, the landfall, I guess it's 60 miles out right now, moving 8 miles an hour. So that's I understand it's a large system. It's not like a point makes landfall and it's all over. But we know the high tide is due also at 11:45 a.m. this morning. And we're having above average high tides. Will that exacerbate flooding, especially in the low-lying coastal population centers such as Belize City?
Certainly, the added effect of the above normal high tides and the combination of the rainfall and the possibility of minor storm surge will certainly increase the flooding potential.
And then finally from me, are there any have you all received any reports from your weather stations, electronic reports, I guess, from your weather stations? I heard a report from Cancun at 6 a.m. or I saw online a report from Cancun at 6 a.m. saying they were they had seen a gust of 41 miles an hour. I don't know, have you all received any information from your weather stations at this point?
Yeah, I mentioned that earlier in the presentation that we have not recorded significant gusts. So it would seem to me that the strong winds with the system are a bit off from the center because the center is near us and they are farther away. And I don't want to get into the scientific reason, but just to see that there's a high pressure system, like I mentioned, in the Gulf, and the low pressure is over us. And so I believe what we call the pressure gradient, that is the difference between the high and low, is a bit stronger in their area. So the winds are a bit more spread out, and the stronger winds are a bit farther from the center in this particular case. It's a very, very broad, disorganized system, and that's what you get when you have those type of systems. They're not compact with the strong winds very near the center. Not to say that we won't get those gusty winds and even sustained tropical storm when the system moves nearer to us. That is still what we expect, but we haven't recorded them as yet.
And just for the sake of reinforcement, Mr. Mendez said the conditions will start to deteriorate when the storm is upon us. I saw in one of the earlier advisories you all sent out, we should start to expect that the conditions will start to deteriorate at noon, at midday?
The conditions are deteriorating already. In my estimation, I would say that we have had deterioration since last night, based on the weather conditions, the rain and so forth. But certainly it will get worse as the morning progresses. So I won't give a specific time. We expect landfall anytime between 9 o'clock and midday. So we can look at that window to say those will be the most severe time, or within that time period, we would expect the more severe weather conditions from the system.
Okay, do we have any other questions?
I just wanted to ask if we could just go over, for the sake of public safety, the craft warnings. No vessel should be on the sea, but what is the indication? I see the municipal airstrip is not open, or I don't see it active. What are the indications for airports, for incoming flights, international flights at the Ladyville Airport, etc.?
The PGIA, and I know the PGIA and the Department of Civil Aviation are meeting this morning. They will have an update very soon on the status of the airports across the country. As soon as that is made available, we will share it with the public.
Okay, so at this time, the status quo remains, right? Yeah.
Well, I will say as of now, that update will be provided very soon as they complete their assessments and their determination of how when the airports will be closing and if. So please look out for that update very soon from those entities.
Okay. Now, what is have you all been interacting? I know, Mr. Gordon, you all interact very regularly with the Hurricane Center. The hurricane hunters, I know they aren't activated until it reaches a certain level of seriousness, but I am advised that they are going in shortly.
We have been communicating with the Hurricane Center more on the warnings and watches for the country of Belize. I have not communicated with them in regards to their hurricane hunter mission.
Yeah, I understand they're making their way towards the storm right now. So I guess we'll have new information. If I could, I just want to make clear, because we're receiving questions as well, Mr. Mendes. This work thing is complicated, as you from your experience will know very well. You know, because employees are afraid they lose their job, they're concerned for safety, but their employers, you know, they need to make it a working day in some cases because they have to make their money. Explain to me, I know you said it clearly already, but what advice would you give to a working person who is being compelled to work and their employer is saying, you know, it's just a minor storm, look at it, you know, it'll be finished by midday, Make could just jam. What advice would you give to the employee?
Well, again, we go back to our recommendation that we take all of these systems seriously. We can't say it's a small storm that will blow over very quickly. We understand that the impacts will be not only from rain, but you also hear that we will have the secondary impacts of flooding. My advice to everyone is that we need to take this seriously. I don't want to be put on record to say that businesses must do these things. These are areas that we certainly need to tighten up on. But as of now, I would just encourage everyone, families, business owners, that we need to take this seriously. It will have impact, and we need to be prepared for it.
Okay, I thank you for your indulgence.
Thank you. We have time for one more question. I see Miss Maria, you have your hand up for some time, so we will ask you to ask this and then we wrap up from here.
Yes, thank you. Is there a forecast for what we call water spouts or for any other tornadic activity?
We don't do forecasts for water spouts nor tornadic activity, but I would say that there is a possibility for those to occur.
Okay, with that, I will say thank you to the media and thank you, Belize, for tuning in. Remember to please follow and listen to official reports from the Chief Met and from NEMO. Stay safe and have a good day. Keep updated and we will keep updating you as well. Thank you and goodbye.
Thank you.